Hello YouTube, this is Zach with Sunset Island Railroad Productions, and today we will be reviewing and I'll be showing you how to use this wonderful Prodigy Explorer DCC made by MRC controller. So basically this controller is basically kind of an intro to DCC controller, as it does have very basic functions and basic numeric keypads, and the reason why I got this controller over other DCC intro to DCC controllers is that this controller can operate all 28 decoder functions, and I'll get to that in a second. Alright, let's kind of open up the box and see what we get. Alright, so the way you open this box, as the side you see here, these flaps push out, and then you can kind of place it down, and then you just lift up on these flaps and pull it up like this. So right here out of the box, we get our quick start manual, as this kind of gives you some basic information on how this operates, how to connect it to your layout, and how to expand. And after that, we see that we have our controller right here. Check this out of the bubble wrap right here. So this is our controller. It's very simple, very easy to use. As you can see, we can only control 4 addresses at once. Which doesn't mean you can only limit to 4 locomotives, just means that you can only control up to 4 locomotives on the same track. Here's our direction lights. When this is powered up on the track, our direction, these lights indicate on what direction the locomotive is going. The green is for forward and the red is for reverse. And all these other buttons, I'll show you in a minute, get to the kind of operation of the locomotive. This knob here is the control knob. As you can see, it's very smooth operation, no bumps or anything. And then down here is our little plug. So if we were to plug in any other controllers or operation equipment made by MRC, that would go right there. And on the bottom of the controller, you get kind of some other quick start instructions that tell you how to get going and kind of how to program CVs and whatnot. Oh yeah, another thing, this controller can program CVs. Another reason why I chose this controller, well, because it can program CVs. And here's the proof right here. Now, if you don't know what CVs are what's called configuration variables. Now, this will kind of mostly apply if you upgrade a locomotive or put a DCC sound decoder in there. Obviously, many DCC sound decoders contain many horns, whistles, or bells and prime mover functions. So, in order to choose the best one that you want, you're going to have to what's called program the CV. And each horn and bell and prime mover sound, or each sound file on the decoder, is called a CV, or configuration variable. So programming the CVs allows you to kind of configure the decoder, or configure your engine to have the correct sounds, or correct prime mover sounds, or whatever correct decoder functions that specific engine or you personal preference want it to have. So as we flip it back over, we can see kind of like an air vent up here. You can and on this side too. And on the bottom again, we have these kind of rubber stopper pad things that kind of prevent the controller from scratching around on the floor. On this side right here, we have our 2 track inputs, as indicated by right here. And over here we have our wall plug-in input, which is located right there. So let's put the controller to the side for a minute here. What else we get? Well, we get a couple of these adapter here. This is the AC/DC adapter. And this plugs into the transformer. This is your that's kind of the switching power supply. This cord right here, where is it? This cord right here, this plugs into the transformer, which we'll get into in a second. So let's kind of rest that aside. And this plug right here, this is your wall plug. So this obviously plugs into your wall output plug, or kind of wherever you have an outlet. And then this end right here plugs into this side of the controller. So let's just do that right now. It's pretty stupid simple. So let's just plug it in, and then boom, you're in. Let's put that to the side, and that is the box. The 2 plugs that I just showed you come in this clear plastic coating thing when you get it. So it's not just laying there. So everything is very well protected when you open it up in the box. Okay, let's get into initial setup of this controller. So just for the sake of time, I've already plugged in one of the adapter cables, the one with the wall pack plug-in end, into an outlet. So all we need to worry about right now is just connecting this end right here into the transformer. So to get further into that, basically all we need to do is just take this end, and then basically just pop it in this hole right here, and that turns your transformer on. Now we don't have any track wires hooked up yet, so I'll get to that in a minute. But basically right now, what you can see is all the lights come up on this controller. So right now I have my only DCC sound locomotive programmed to address 1, but out of the box, DCC sound locomotives come up to address number 3, and I'll get to programming locomotives in a second. So what we need to do next is connect our 2 track power wires. These are mine. I just use these special adapter ends and cut off one end so I can stick it into the tiny holes right here. Now, if you noticed right here, let's see if the camera will cooperate today. Let's see, right there. Those holes right there, you need to stick in your 2 positive and negative ends inside those holes. And on the bottom here, if you see those little screw terminals, God, my camera won't focus today. What's happening? Anyway, on the bottom there are 2 screw terminals. There they are. Kind of. You see the two screw terminals? And then you use just basically like a flathead screwdriver. You put the wires in, and then you screw these kind of in there. And if you notice, camera's being out of focus today. And then when you screw it in, as you that top metal piece kind of slides down there, which will kind of put your wires connected with the power pack. Alright, now that we have everything hooked up, all we need to do now is plug in the wall pack power supply end, which is this little cord right here, into the transformer. And as you can see, the transformer will turn on, as well as your DCC sound locomotives that are on currently the power track will start up. Alright, let's go into some features of this transformer. So right off the bat, we have our numeric keypad right here. So let's start with 1. 1 is the bell, or specifically on this model. 2 is the horn. This is the long horn. 3 is the short horn. And before I move on, I'd just like to say that, give or take, depending on your locomotive, these features will differ. I know on some HO locomotives you can do extended startup or extended shutdown. So it all varies, but in order to help you ease that fear of what feature is what, I encourage you to take a look at your DCC Sound Locomotive Quick Start Guide. This guide came with the F59 PHI, and basically this front tells you how to do, or kind of tells you what comes with your locomotive. And on this side, take a look at this little chart here. Let's look at the N scale column, specifically, which is the one in the yellow. Tells you all of the locomotive features and whatnot. So, as you can see here, I'm going to run right off the list here, just for the F59. So F0 obviously is headlight. F1 bell, we already did that. F2 whistle horn, which we already did. F3 is usually the short whistle or horn. F4 is the dynamic brakes, which I'll show right now. Hear that little humming right there, and then turn it off, just press 4 again. And then F5. On this locomotive, F5 is another brake squeal. So since the locomotive has stopped right now, that's just showing the release of brakes, or the kind of the put on of brakes. To F5 again. That's another brake function there. Number 6 is the coupler clank. Yep. And then again, according to the quick start guide, F7 is the headlight dimmer. So let's turn our headlights on. F7 dims them a little bit, not very much though. And then to undim them, press F7 again. F8 is mute. Now you can hear me. And then to unmute, just press F8 again. And then F9 is a F9 through the rest of them, or through F9 through the rest of the functions, especially on this engine, don't really do anything else. So if I were to press F9, it doesn't really do anything, because the coder isn't programmed to have more than 8 functions. So that's basically it for this engine, or that's all I can show you right now. So now let's get into running the locomotive. All you need to do basically is just turn this little knob right here, and it indicates how kind of scale miles per hour that you're going. So if I turn it up a little bit, the coder will respond almost instantly, and that's going backwards, as indicated by this red light. Then we can go forwards, press direction again, turn the knob, it's going forwards, engine goes forwards, turn on the back headlight. As you can see, the rear headlight comes on. Okay, to program a locomotive, all you have to do is just press the, the program button, which is indicated by the P. So let's press that right now. As you can see, both direction LEDs will flash. You cannot run a loco at this time, as you are now in programming mode. So what we're supposed to do is, after we press the program button, we press loco. Then they get to a slower blinking sound. So I'm at address 1 right now. Let's change it to address 2. And the engine will give us a couple bleep bleeps in the motor there, to indicate that it's programming and the transformer is going over to the track. And now we are engine programmed to engine 2. See, now I can do all the functions. I can turn the knob, make it go, and it will go. I can do all the functions. Now to program it back to a program, as recently programmed a number that you want to do, same thing, press program, loco. Let's go back to address 1, and the transformer will send a couple of bleep signals to the track to have the locomotive kind of bleep along a little bit until it's programmed back to its original number. And it's that easy. Now to operate functions 10 through 28, all you have to do is just press shift and then enter that 2-digit function. So this obviously this F59 doesn't have any functions higher than I believe 8. So this would mostly apply in other highly detailed or highly manufactured N-scale models or most HO models. So do another 2-digit function. All you have to do is press shift. Say we'll go 12, and then that function would kind of go ahead and play throughout the engine. Now you may be wondering, what is this enter button for? Well, that button is for programming CVs. Now, basically that wraps it up for this review today. I'd like to thank you for watching this review and how-to video on how to use this wonderful intro to DCC starter system. This is just a disclaimer, I am not part of MRC, I do not work for MRC. I was not contracted by MRC to make this video. I thought it would just be cool to show all you out there who are getting started into DCC, like myself and many other fellow YouTubers, kind of how this neat little controller works, and how this will help you into your DCC adventure.